I still remember the first day I saw Ji-yoon at our university. We had been childhood friends, but time had pulled us apart after high school. She was always kind, with a smile that could light up any room, and here she was again, walking through the same campus gates as me, all these years later. Ji-yoon, I called out, surprised to see her. She turned, her eyes wide with recognition, and her face broke into that same familiar smile. We hadn't seen each other in years, but it felt like no time had passed. As fate would have it, we ended up in the same major, business administration. We often studied together in the library, our laughter echoing between the bookshelves as we reminisced about our childhood memories. Every day, we grew closer, and my heart began to beat a little faster whenever I was around her. One chilly evening, we were walking back from the campus coffee shop. Ji-yoon shivered as the cold wind blew past. Without thinking, I took off my jacket and placed it around her shoulders. She looked at me with a soft expression, her cheeks tinged with a slight blush. "Thanks, you're always so thoughtful," she said, pulling the jacket closer. That moment made me realize just how much I cared for her, not just as a friend, but as something more. It had been 3 years since we reunited at university. By then, Ji-yoon had become my best friend, my partner in everything. But the more time I spent with her, the more I realized that I couldn't just be her friend anymore. I wanted more. One night, after a long study session, we were sitting on a bench overlooking the campus fountain. The moonlight reflected in the water, casting a soft glow on her face. My heart raced, and I knew it was time to tell her how I felt. "Ji-yoon," I began, my voice trembling slightly. I've been meaning to tell you something for a while now." She turned to look at me, her eyes curious but kind. "I like you. No, I love you. I have for a long time. I don't want to just be your friend anymore. I want to be the one who makes you happy, the one who stands by your side, always." For a moment, she was silent, and my heart sank. But then, she smiled, bright, warm, and full of the same love I'd been holding in. "I love you too," she whispered, her eyes glistening with emotion. "I was just waiting for you to say it first." My heart soared as I pulled her into a tight hug. This was the beginning of something beautiful. After graduating, we started working at the same company, and our relationship only grew stronger. Every day felt like an adventure with Ji-yoon by my side. But after 4 years of dating, I knew it was time to take the next step. I planned a special weekend getaway to Jeju Island. The two of us walked along the beach, hand in hand, the sunset painting the sky with shades of pink and orange. My heart pounded as I reached into my pocket, feeling the small velvet box. We stopped near a quiet part of the beach, the waves gently lapping at the shore. I took a deep breath, got down on one knee, and pulled out the ring. "Ji-yoon," I said, my voice filled with emotion. "You've been my best friend, my love, and my greatest support. Will you marry me?" She gasped, her hands covering her mouth as tears welled up in her eyes. Then, she nodded, her smile brighter than the setting sun. "Yes," she whispered, her voice trembling with joy. "Of course, yes." I slid the ring onto her finger, and we kissed, surrounded by the beauty of the ocean and the promise of a future together. Our wedding day was perfect, surrounded by friends and family who had been with us through every stage of our lives. As we exchanged vows, I couldn't help but feel like the luckiest person in the world. Married life with Ji-yoon was everything I dreamed it would be, full of laughter, late-night talks, and quiet mornings spent together. We supported each other through everything, from work stress to life's little challenges. But it wasn't always easy. There were arguments, like when I forgot our anniversary one year, or when work stress made us both irritable. Yet, even in those tough moments, we always found our way back to each other. Apologies, long conversations, and cuddles on the couch were our way of mending any cracks. We never went to bed angry. One morning, I woke up to find Ji-yoon sitting beside me, her face glowing with excitement and nervousness. "What's up?" I asked, still groggy. She handed me a small, white stick with 2 pink lines on it. My brain took a second to register what I was looking at. "Are you serious?" I exclaimed, sitting up straight. "You're pregnant?" She nodded, tears of happiness streaming down her face. I pulled her into my arms, my heart swelling with love and disbelief. We were going to be parents. Our journey wasn't without its struggles. There were moments of fear, like when Jiyoon had complications during her pregnancy and had to be admitted to the hospital. I stayed by her side, holding her hand, terrified of what could happen. But she was strong, and we made it through together. When our baby girl was finally born, I held her in my arms and looked at Jiyoon, exhausted but smiling. "We did it," I whispered, kissing her forehead. She smiled up at me, her eyes full of love and contentment. "Yes, we did." As I watched Jiyoon cradle our newborn, I felt a deep sense of peace. Life had brought us full circle, from childhood friends to lovers, to parents. Every moment, both the happy and the challenging, had been worth it. I couldn't imagine a more beautiful life than the one I had with Jiyoon. And now, with our baby girl, our love story was just beginning.